I'm pumped. I got this new microphone. Now I can do private label ASMR. Welcome to the Private Label Masters Facebook group. Okay, let me see here. Bear with me a minute. I'm just going to post this in a few different spots. What's up, Alan? Boram? Whoever's there. Thanks for joining in. Paste. Alright, cool. Pasting it here. And so just so you guys know, there is like a 30-second lag, okay? As a heads up. Let me post in one more spot. Here we go. Post. And I think that should do it. All right, we got a few on here. So first off, I want to say welcome everybody. Today is what? Today is Thursday. It is actually not raining for once in California. It's about 3:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now I haven't come into the large private label group, the Private Label Masters large public group for a while. I've been really trying to focus my efforts on my students and also on making additions to the course. Plus, I have my own Amazon business, as you guys know. So that's why I haven't been super engaged in the public group. But I'm going to try to work on that a little bit and make sure that I bring some content to you guys too. Hopefully do a few more live streams each month. All right. So if you do have some questions, you can go ahead and fire them in the chat, and I will get to them. All right. So what's happening in Amazon? What's happening in my world in Amazon? It's always exciting. Okay. Anybody who tells you that selling on Amazon's boring, don't listen to them. Maybe if you have one product and it's like a paper plate, and you don't have money to increase the sales, and it's really hard to bring Facebook traffic or something for your paper plate, and it's really hard to create an Instagram brand page for your paper plate, I could see how it'd get a little boring. But if you are consistently launching products and optimizing your listings and learning, because Amazon is like a moving target, right? And you have to kind of keep up with it. There are core fundamental business principles that every large Amazon seller sticks to. But then there are other aspects that just kind of constantly change. And you want to be, up to date and keeping track with what's working and what's not, and pivoting, okay? So even though it's Chinese New Year right now, it just started, it's still exciting. Chinese New Year kind of forces you to take a step back from talking to suppliers and then focusing on other aspects of your business. So if you're brand new, right, this will give you a little more time to do some product research. You have a few weeks before you can really start talking to suppliers again. Also, if you already have a couple products out, this will give you some time to maybe take a break from all that supplier time that you were spending talking to them, do something fun, go outdoors maybe for once in a while. I know that's one thing with me is I get really, I love doing this whole e-commerce thing. So I have to really work on balancing my time and making sure that, I go outside, I go hit the gym, I go somewhere with my wife, I go out to eat, go hang out with friends. So during Chinese New Year, it's a good time to be social. I saw a TED Talk one time that it was a Harvard study where they were trying to figure out the secret which helped people live a really long time. And they started tracking these people years and years and years ago, and they kept the study up. Well, what they find was the key ingredient to the ones who lived the longest. Well, the key ingredient was the most people who were interconnected socially and had close, good friendships and connections with a wide group of people. So, yes, e-commerce is fun, but don't risk your health and your long term. Think even longer term than Amazon, and make sure you get out and you still enjoy like social events and things with your good friends, things like that. Now, in regards to my business, last year I was selling around 400 something thousand. Yeah, last year I was selling about 400,000 ish gross in last January, and my recent numbers show that I'm in the mid 700,000. And I just posted that just a couple days ago in the Facebook group. So still seeing some increase, and that's exciting. All right. Another question I want to ask you guys is, where are you guys watching from? I love hearing like all the random places that people will tune into. I've had people say it's like 4 in the morning, but I'm still tuning in. And then there's people here in California with me. Where are you guys from? Remember, there's a 30-second lag, so if it sounds like I ask a question and then I don't really like answer it right away because I'm looking to see your guys' responses, that's why. Okay. Looks like we got some from North Carolina. Where else you guys from? 2 in North Carolina. Colorado. SoCal for Robert. Dublin. It's almost midnight. Miguel never sleeps. Washington, D.C. Okay. Right on. Looks like we got 29 people here. What else? Anything else that's new going on in Amazon? You know, one thing I did want to talk about, okay? And I think this is very key. So many people, especially new Amazon sellers, are always looking for the next hack, the next trick, the next new technique, the next whatever it is, okay? But what they fail to remember is that really succeeding on Amazon, it's not about the tips, tricks, hacks, these kinds of things. It's the core fundamentals of having a good business. And when it comes down to Amazon, you can break it up into just a few things. It is good product research, okay? You have to know how to find a good product. You got to know how to negotiate and find a good supplier, okay? Then once it's at Amazon, you need to know how to make a beautiful listing. Beautiful. I mean, you want your listing, if you've ever gone to see the Mona Lisa, there is a line of people and there's like a barricade. That is what you want your listing to look like, okay? You want people lining up and wanting selfies by it. That's how quality your listing. People are like, this is an amazing, beautiful piece of artwork. Who did this? Oh, Tim? Great. Look at that is what you want your listing to look like, okay? After you have the most amazing listing, next, you got to know how to get to the front page, okay? And then addition to that, you need to know how to run PPC, profitable PPC campaigns that advertise your product. And then after that, it's just a matter of rinsing and repeating that process, okay? Now, those fundamental business practices that I talked about in regards to Amazon private label, there's a whole host of different lines of thought when it comes to each one of them. There are many different ways that people recommend to find a product. There's many different ways that people say, like, for example, what makes a good listing, what types of pictures, who to do your pictures. There's a whole bunch of different theories and ideas on how to do your PPC, and there's a bunch of different ways on how to get to front page. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but what I know is everyone has a different way a little bit, okay? And for example, like what I teach in my own course and what I do for my own business is what I found to work, okay, for each one of those things. There's some people who start off with like 30 campaigns for PPC. Then there's some people who start off with one campaign. There are some people who have all these different parameters or criteria for what a product should be. It should fit into, a shoe box, or it should be this or that, or you should only airship products, okay? Everyone has their parameters. What I teach in the Private Label Masters course is what I do in my business, and I've realized now over time is that it's not the tips, tricks, hacks, all these crazy things like that that really make your business succeed. It's following through on those fundamental things, not cutting any corners, being patient with the process, and then rinsing and repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? And that's really what private label is in a nutshell. So, whoever you find that you're comfortable with, follow that person and listen to what they say, okay? If that's me, and maybe you're my student or you're a future student, you don't want to get too many chefs in the kitchen. You don't want to listen to this guy over here saying this guy. If you're new, find someone who has done it. Find the person who has spent 30,000 hours perfecting their craft and follow in their steps. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go through that 30,000 hours yourself, okay? So if you go find someone else and you're like, you know what, this person, I really vibe with everything they're saying with, and it makes a lot of sense, and I connect with them, their personality and their teaching ways, and if you end up buying that person's course, only focus on that person. Delete my Facebook group out. Don't even look at anything I say. Follow that one person. And if it's me, then stay away from all those other ones, okay? You know, with me though, I sold $8 million last year. I'm not too sure how many other sellers are doing that too, okay? So I have rambled on enough. Remember, the key takeaways from this is it's just the fundamental things. It's not the latest hacks, tips, tricks, all these different things. It's those fundamental things. Find somebody who has done it many times successfully and follow them, okay? Let's jump into some of your guys' questions. All right, so let me scroll back up here. Again, if you have questions, fire them away. I won't promise I'll answer them, but we're going to go to my phone dies. Last time I checked, my phone had like 40%, so 48%. So we'll see how long this lasts. And sadly, I can't like charge it into anything because I have it plugged into this mic. All right, who we got here? We got quite a few people up here. Could you please talk about ManiChat plus Amazon FBA? Okay, so ManiChat plus Amazon FBA, I'm actually adding a giant module to my training on this. But one thing that if you know how I teach is I don't put anything in my course that I don't actually do and that I've never tested myself. I don't care what everyone else is doing. I only do what works and what works for me, okay? So I have different software tool companies contact me and be like, hey, Tim, please be an affiliate with us and mention our tools. We'll pay X amount. And I say, you know what? I don't use your tool, so I'm not recommending it. I don't care how much you pay me, okay? So with ManiChat and Facebook, and FBA, I mean, it's a great way to build an audience that you can remarket to in the future. And frankly, that's about it. Okay, it's nothing. You have email lists, which are really popular back in the day, and they're still very popular and they work well. Okay, and then now you have ManiChat lists, and they kind of work the same way. You build the list, then you market to the list, and that's about it. Can you be successful without ManiChat? Absolutely. I've launched tons of products without ManiChat. The large majority of my products, I never used ManiChat. Even in late 2018, I didn't use ManiChat in a lot of them, okay? I've only started using ManiChat on some of them. And a lot of people talk about ManiChat as like, oh my gosh, you have to do ManiChat. But you got to understand, it's just a way for them to make their course sound a little special, okay? It's kind of, remember I told you about the business fundamentals, all right? ManiChat is like a supplement for somebody who works out. You're not going to go get the latest creatine powder and be this giant ripped dude, okay? Everyone knows if you want to get big or you want to lose weight, you got to do the core things. That's like eat right and work out hard and consistent. And then anything above that, supplements, they like get you a little bit extra, okay? Stuff like ManiChat's kind of like that, okay? Who cares about ManiChat if you don't know how to find a good product? You can find the best, you can have the best ManiChat follow-up sequences and know all these cool tips and tricks and hacks, but if you don't have a good product, it's not going to do you any good, okay? So if you don't have a product right now, don't spend any time even thinking about ManiChat. Pretend it never exists. It's just a distraction. It's just noise. Once you start having a product sourced and you're bringing it into Amazon, then start learning about it, okay? That's what I have to say about ManiChat. What's your launch method in detail from product birth? I would say for myself, what I usually do is I turn on PPC right away and I just see how the market reacts. And a lot of times you can say like, hey, this thing's flying off the shelf. I really nailed this one. Or you can say like, wow, the competition is bidding $10 a keyword. Straight up, PPC launch is not really going to work. Then you have other options. You have giveaway services, which work fine. Then you also use Facebook ads, where you can use a discount code to bring traffic that way. So every product is different. Some products you put up, turn PPC on, tons of sales, rank front page, no problem. Other products, turn on PPC, it's a little rougher. No problem either. Pivot. You find another way to get those sales to get to the front page. What tools to use to prepare tax and keep financial statements correctly? So one tool that's recommended is GoDaddy Bookkeeping. I actually have a video going into that in depth inside the Private Label Masters course. It's about to come out. But that hooks right into your Amazon Seller Central account, and that'll really help you out. Print out your Schedule C, boom, you're good. Let's see here. Domestic suppliers, FBA warehouse. I'm not really sure what that question means. If you want to ask that a little more details. Jonathan says, who's the person looking in the window? It's probably you, you creep. No, I'm just kidding. How do you find a good product? How do I find a good product is, now it's a little different for me. I have several different brands, and now I'm mainly looking on products that kind of go with my brand, but it's pretty simple. There are different tools that'll help you kind of filter out results within Amazon. Jungle Scout, Viral Launch, Helium 10, they all basically do the same thing. Really what you're looking for is a product that has some demand, that you can provide a unique selling point in some feature. Make it a little bit better than the other guy, and brand it better, something like that. So look for a product that has good demand, which would just basically translate to a lower BSR that's getting an X amount of sales that you can afford. If you see a product that you're like, wow, this thing has low reviews and it's selling 100,000 a month, this is perfect for me. It's not perfect for you. You don't have that much money to keep it in stock. You're just gonna get fried by some big dog coming in there, a whale, and just pushing you right out. Okay, so use one of those tools and find a product that has demand, and then look for a way to make it special in some way. That's how you find a good product. Pretty simple. Amin, I'm totally new to Amazon. I want to figure out how Amazon FBA works, and I do not mean private label. I believe the private label is the advanced step. Good question. So one thing I want to stress here is that no question is a dumb question, okay? You can have the most basic question, and I will try to help you out as best I can, okay? So, Amin, FBA, the way it works is Amazon has a program called Fulfillment by Amazon, which allows you to bring products into their warehouse. It goes for sale up on their warehouse, up on the website, on the platform. You adjust the prices, and once it sells, Amazon does all the shipping and fulfillment for you. That's why it's called Fulfilled by Amazon. So your job, whether you do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, PL, whatever it is to find products at a lower price that you know can make money on the Amazon platform. You send it in to Amazon in one of their warehouses, and then you can play with the price on your phone, and once it sells, Amazon fulfills that for you. That's basically, in a nutshell, what Amazon FBA is. Miguel asks, what would you do differently if you had to start your Amazon business from scratch today? That's a tough question, Miguel. What would I do? I guess I was already very aggressive. So I was never like waiting a long time. I was a pretty big risk taker. I would say the thing I would change is I would not skimp out on my listings. That's one thing I did. And that's a mentality that I noticed even with a lot of my students. It's this mentality that, and it doesn't, and when you take a step back, it doesn't make too much sense. Here you are spending thousands of dollars on product. And then you put it on a listing and you want to pay $40 for someone to write the listing and $100 for someone to take the pictures. So you're in at what, like $140, maybe $200 after you're spending thousands of dollars on your listing. So that's what I would do different. I skimped out a lot at the beginning, and because of that, I did not give my products the opportunity to succeed or what they deserved, right? So here's what I would say is, for you not to fall into that trap that I did, is from your first product, think of your product as one that's going to potentially make you tens of thousands of dollars from now in the future. Tens of thousands of dollars, okay? And make your listing look the part, okay? You may have been, in English AP in a high school and were in a high English class in college. I myself only went to a couple months of college. And you may have the best pictures on your Instagram, you think, and have some followers and are good with filters. But that does not mean that you're an expert level Amazon copywriter. That does not mean that you are an expert level photographer, okay? So from the get-go, hire the best professionals, view your listing as a work of art, okay, something beautiful. That is what I wish I could have changed, okay? I wish, and so I learned kind of like the hard way, and that was hiring cheap guys off Fiverr and paying the bare minimum. And I ended up having to pay the same amount as if I would have got the high quality freelancers from the get-go, because I kept having to change it and make it better and realize, like, wow, everyone else has a better listing than me. I need to have something more like this. Okay, well, how do I find it? And so through that time of hiring and different random copywriters, I don't know how many copywriters I hired and how many photographers that I went cheap on. But eventually I nailed it down to the best designer for product packaging, the best, okay? The best photographer that I've ever found, okay? And neither of these guys did anything for Amazon. And then I finally found the best copywriter, like the best. I've had times where my copywriter could not write my listing, and I've tried to like look for another one. And I'm just like, every single time I'm like, man, no one writes like this person does. I can't find it anywhere. A person who paints a picture of you using the product, sprinkles a little humor in, and then throws in a few cautions to scare you away from the other guys, while getting you emotionally connected to the product. Now that, mixing in all your best Amazon keywords, now that is a good copywriter. You'll find copywriters who can write nice things, but do they know Amazon? Do they know keyword research? So it takes the total package, right? The same thing with photographers. You can go to some guy and be like, man, this guy takes really good photos. But does he understand that for your main image, you don't want your item to be this little small thing back in the corner? You want it to fill the entire space, as much real estate there as possible. As much extra white space gone. Does he know that? Probably not. Does he know the exact dimensions that you should have your main image so that it's zoomable, things like that? They don't. Okay? So finding people who know all of that kind of thing is so valuable, and try to do that from the get-go, okay? And if you want to know who I use for every single listing, got to check out the Private Label Masters course. I have all their contact info in there. I don't use anyone else. Those are the exact people I use. When will I get a wireless charger, David? Oh, dude, that's a good idea. You want to send me one? Beatrice, how much money would you start or recommend someone to start with? So are there people who have started Amazon with a couple $100. There probably are. I'm not that guy, and I don't recommend you being that guy. I want you to have the highest chance of success. And in order for you to do that, I recommend having at least $2,000 to $3,000. Okay? If you're like, man, $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000, where am I going to get that? I want to be rich tomorrow. You're in the wrong business. Okay? There are plenty of ways. If somebody took away my Amazon business right now, okay, and I had no income, I would find a way to make an extra $3,000 this month. I don't care if I had to borrow my friend's car and drive Uber for 15 hours a day and eat potatoes every single day and rice. I could make that extra $3,000 to $5,000 within 2 months or something. It's all about how bad you want it, okay? So I know that's a little beyond your question, but if you hear that number and you're saying like, oh man, that's too much, you know, I need something that's like affiliate marketing where I make a website and then I'm getting paid. Maybe private label is not the business for you, but I highly think that private label is better than all these other businesses. Not only will you be making money every single time you're selling a product, but then after 2 years, you can sell that for hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I have somebody that I coached, okay? This person that I coached, I met them a little over a year and a half ago. They were doing around $60,000 in gross sales, 30 to 60, okay? And I probably talked to them probably like 5 to 10 times. Well, guess what? This person and his business partner just sold their business, their Amazon FBA business, for over $5 million. Hey, check that out, over $5 million. Now, is that the norm? No, it's not. I have another student, okay, another student who is in my course and who I've taught. He's got, I think, around 6 products, and he started with no money and he just financed it, which is crazy, okay? But check that out. Last year, he did over $100,000 net, okay? And he just put his business up for sale, and I think he's going to get over $400,000 for it. So picture what that means. And this is what a lot of people do in the private label business. I know I'm getting off on these tangents, but hopefully there's some value to you. What they do is they start their business, and a lot of times, most people starting, especially if you're younger, you don't have a bunch of capital, okay? So you have a product you can barely afford, and next thing you know, it starts selling more and more and more. Well, you don't have money. You barely had money for this one. So you're barely trying to keep up with that one. There's no even way you can like get another product, okay? So then you pull out a loan to pay for the reorders on this one because you know it continues to sell. Then you have other cash now building up to go after your next product. Well, you do that a few times, and now you're like tapped, okay? Yeah, you got 4 or 5 products going, but you're tapped. You got a couple loans, which are fine. It's good debt because you're profitable, but you're just tapped. You can't really go after more products. Well, what a lot of people do is after their business matures a year and a half, 2 years, then they sell it $400,000, $500,000, and then they get right back into Amazon. Next thing you know, they can go after 30 products and still have money in the bank, okay? Robert, I never even looked into ManiChat. I assume that you would recommend it, though. So with ManiChat, I actually started using ManiChat over a year ago, and it was okay. I felt like the hype for it was a little much, and I still feel that like people, it's kind of like people who say like, oh, you have to build off Amazon and all this stuff, and I understand that, but like if you're not doing anything crazy, you'll still be you'll still be wildly successful, not have to waste tons of energy trying to build this giant, beautiful website and get traffic to it and all this stuff, okay? So what I would say with ManiChat is if you can easily segment it into your current business, it makes relaunching and launching new products just way easier. You have this giant group of people who the open rates are like 90%. You can fire out a promo to them and a bunch of them will buy, okay? You can add to your ManiChat list endlessly. There's that many people on Facebook, and once they're in that ManiChat list, it's like they're there to do your bidding. You know, if you have a product that fits a demographic, you just keep feeding it to them. Oh, you know what? I have extra inventory. Well, I'll just fly a whole bunch out to this gigantic list. So it's pretty nice like that. You need to do a relaunch or something instead of like trying to do launch some other certain way or boost sales. You can just keep firing at that list. Next thing you know, you have 3,000 people in, let's say, the fitness niche. And so now when you're thinking of what product do I want, you can just grab a product that fits fitness. You can know you're going to fire it out to 3,000 people. So it does have benefits, but I've had wildly good success without ManiChat at all, and you can too. Tamara says it's all in the course. Just listen to the woman. Difference between Vendor Central, Seller Central. Vendor Central is for people who are selling directly to Amazon, and then Amazon sells it. So there are pros and cons. Seller Central gives you the most, the most access and the more features. Like you can run a lot of different things within Seller Central that in Vendor Central is not. If you're a big business and you don't have time, you got a name brand, just hop on Vendor Central, sell it to Amazon. They'll sell it for you. But if you want your listing to look amazing and have the best bullets and copywriting and do all this like optimization, things like that, do Seller Central. And I'm sticking with Seller Central, personally. Who do you use for launch for giveaway numbers? Last launch inflates them a lot because they don't use estimates. That's a good question, Alex. So when you're talking about giveaway numbers, think of the people who make these giveaway services. You have Casey at Viral Launch, smart dude. You have Greg Mercer, Jungle Keyword Scout, smart dude. He's like the OG of private label. You have Manny Coates with Cerebro, with Helium 10, smart dude, right? And you have many others. You have ZonJump, which connected to Rebate Key, which is Leo Lemon, smart dude, right? All these guys are smart. All these guys will have slightly different numbers when it comes to giveaways, but you really can't go wrong. Last launch, I forget the guy's name, another smart guy, okay? What I would do if I were you, I'd just look at a couple of them. If one says 30, one says 20, one says 27, hey, I'm going with 25, I'm going with 28, and I should be okay. I don't have one that I stick to. I like to kind of, look around and get a bird's eye view of what all these smart guys are saying instead of just committing to one every single time. Aria, no electronic products? Not for me. For you? Maybe. Gary says, hey, what's up? McKean Taylor, another VIP student. Michael Rodwell, Tim's as well, another VIP student. Nice to see you guys. David Fulmer, have you adapted to increased long-term storage fees? Okay, so with the long-term storage fees, it used to be billed every 6 months, and there were cool little tips that you could do, like it was billed, I think, like January 1st and September 1st. I don't know, I forget what it was, February 1st. And if you had your shipment arrive right after they had the long-term storage fee time frame, then you could almost get like a year, okay? Well, they kind of did away with that, and now they say, hey, you have 1 year to before you get hit with long-term storage fees. And you may be saying like, wow, that's amazing, I'm not going to have long storage, I can keep my product there forever. Well, now they have a new way of grading your inventory, and that's with the IPI system, which gauges off of 4 different criteria within your inventory. And one of those is like sell-through rate, okay? So yeah, you may not hit long-term storage fees now because it's a year, but your IPI is going to get killed. And that's judged every quarter. So what that means is if you have stuff there forever and you're like, yeah, no long-term storage fees, but what that means is your IPI dips below 350, I believe it is, and you're into the red. Next thing you know, you can't even hardly send anything into Amazon because they limit you because you have bad IPI numbers, okay? And then if you send over that amount, next thing you know, you're having to pay extra fees. So I haven't really adjusted. I think it's more along the lines of how have I adjusted to the new IPI grading system for my inventory. I typically don't have anything that lasts to long-term storage. And if you get something there, just blow it out. Turn on PPC, lower the price, wait till Q4, fly it out. I mean, thank you, Tim. Do you have a course about Amazon FBA, mainly bring quality products from China and ship into one of the Amazon's warehouses? I mean, I'm going to tell you, look straight up. There's a banner at the top of this group. Make sure it's still there. Hey, there it is. And it says a website, www.privatelabelmasters.com. That's my site, that's my course, that's my training that shows everything, how I do it and how you can do it too. So check that out. In there you'll find a little more detail on what's included in that course. Miguel, what's up? Another VIP student in the house. It's been amazing. Thanks. Bashir, another VIP student in the house. Nice to see you guys. John Sebastian, another student. What's up? How do you sell an Amazon business, George? It's a good question. So to sell an Amazon business is not too difficult. So a couple key things is you're going to want to keep a good profit loss balance statement, right? Balance sheet. So another seller or another person who wants to buy your business can come in and see the financials, okay? Treat it as if you were looking to buy a business. What would you want to see? And that's the type of in-depth records you want to keep, all right? This brings me to another point. When it comes to reporting your taxes, okay? Everybody's like, how can I not pay taxes? How can I not pay taxes? Well, when you're skimping out in valuing how much money you made, you may be saving money in the near term. Like, yes, I cut off like a couple $1,000 of my taxes, $20,000 of my taxes. But when it goes to valuing your business, they're going off of what your taxes say, right? And if all this time you've been cutting corners, trying not to pay taxes, when you go to sell your business, if that time ever happens, you're going to get a much lower valuation because you've been trying to think short term and save money on these random tax things, okay? So 2 years is the magic mark, okay? That's when people start to like have faith in your business. That's also a lot of times where buyers can get an SBA loan, like from the bank, to finance. And then you also don't want to sell your business if it's plateaued, not really, or if it's going down, right? The ideal is on a nice uptrend for the past 6 months. When you have a nice uptrend like that, the way they value your business isn't on the past 6 months or whatever. They're going to go off of future earnings, okay? So those are a couple of key things to keep in mind. How you go about selling it is you go to a website like Flippa, Empire Flippers, Website Closers. I think there's one called Quiet Like Brokerage or something like that. And they'll give you a valuation of your business, and they have a ton of people who go to those sites looking to buy a business. If you have a bunch of money right now and you don't have time to like try to figure out all this stuff, go ahead and buy one of those businesses and hit the ground running. I personally, the amount of money it would cost to buy a business that's already functioning on FBA, I could probably start about 10 businesses on FBA with that money. So I personally, if you have the skill and the knowledge, I would never buy an existing FBA business. Unless you get it at a crazy deep discount, then who knows? Let's see here. But yeah, those guys are real cool. You know, I've talked to them over there, and I've had different, like I said, a couple of students or people that I've coached to sell their businesses, and then they get right back into it with a whole bunch more money. I was thinking about selling one of my brands actually. Now I'm like going back and forth because that brand makes about $8,000 to $10,000 profit every single month, and sad thing is it's not going like this. It's been kind of like this, trickling down slightly, and I'm not really adding to that brand. So I can either sell it and get maybe a lower valuation because it's not really like skyrocketing. It's dropping a little bit. Like instead of making 14 grand a month, it's making like 10,500 a month. So in that case, it's better for me just to write it till the wheels fall off, unless I throw some products in there, boost it up, and then go to sell it. Merla Tamayo, hey Tim, where can I see your course? How many courses do you have? I have one course. Okay, one course. That's it. It has 100 videos in there now. I think it's over 14 hours long, and you can know nothing about Amazon and get crazy amounts of value, or you can already have some products selling and still get some value out of there. I will tell you, if you were looking at my course, 50% of the value is the course. The other 50% is being in a VIP group with a couple hundred other students who are all doing the same thing as you are, who are all really helpful. And I'm in there constantly making sure there's no bad information. In fact, just yesterday, I rewarded the top person who's engaged in the group with free access or early access to a new course video. So I make sure that the group is a good group of people. No one's complaining. No one's getting on each other. But if you're interested in learning more about the Private Label Masters course, go to www.privatelabelmasters.com. And if you look up right now, not in person, but on your screen, you'll see in the banner it says that website. Go there, check it out. If you have questions, ask them in this public group. If you want to know like from other students who are in it, there's probably 20 of them right now on this live stream. Hao Minqian, another student, what's up? Adam Leaf. Paul, have you ever visited any of your manufacturers in China? So, I have never been to China. I have never live Skyped face-to-face with any of my suppliers. So this brings up an interesting thing. It's kind of like pro and con, okay? If I went to China, is there a good chance that I could negotiate some better rates? Absolutely. But me never having gone to China, you know what that means? That means you can never go to China if you didn't want to ever. Let's say you hate flying, you don't want to ever go to China, and you can still have a wildly successful Amazon business without ever going to China. And that's one of the beauty of the things that we have by having, the internet, Alibaba, Skype, WeChat, things like that. Okay? I personally have never been to China. My assistant, who's in the course, who does a couple course video, and also who's in the VIP group, he has been to China. And before he started working with me, he ran a $5 million plus a year Amazon account, and he went to China and negotiated numbers there. So he has that experience. I don't, but together we make a dream team. Okay. Now another thing that's like that is Amazon conferences. Everyone says, you go to Amazon conferences, you network like crazy. And that's true, you probably do. I have quite a few higher sellers and other people that I have networked just through Facebook with, but I have been able to be very successful on Amazon without ever going to a single Amazon meetup, never going to a single Amazon conference, and never going to China, okay? So imagine if then I started doing those things. Let's say I went to meetups now, went to conferences, went to China to negotiate. I'd probably have better prices. I'd probably meet some more people. The one thing I'd say is don't get sidetracked with those things. Go to meetups, that's cool. It's nice to find like-minded people, but focus your time on doing the work of being an Amazon private label seller. Everybody is like, oh yeah, I'm an Amazon FBA seller. I scan Facebook groups all day long. I watch YouTube videos all day long. I'm really in this. Okay, not really, okay? You need to be finding products, launching products, sourcing products, rinse and repeat. How many times did it take you to find a reliable manufacturer in China? David. Every product's different. I've had products that's first time, and everything went great. Great sample, great everything. Other times I had this one product. It was an oversized product, and I really wanted to do this product. And I knew that it was going to take some work. Quite a few samples. I think I had to order from 5 different factories, and express shipping an oversized sample is pricey. I think it was costing me like over $200 a sample. I think by the time I got the sample correct, it was almost $2,000. Now, you may look at that and you may say, oh man, that's crazy. I hope I get it first try. And you may. I always like to reframe these things though, okay? If it took me 5 different factories and almost $2,000 to find and get this product right, what kind of barrier to entry is that for others? It's pretty up there. So if you don't find the best supplier in the first time, reframe it like that for yourself. Hey, you know what? You could be like so mad. Man, I wasted money on this sample. They sent me this cheap garbage. You know, they expect me to sell this. Maybe it's on the 4th time you're ready to throw in the towel. Remember, it's going to be that hard for everybody else. You're halfway to the island swimming there. Don't turn back now. You can make it the rest of the way. Omer, any new tricks coming for product hunting, or should we stick to old school techniques? Stick to the basics, Omer. I don't think there's any new magical pill out there. You may see somebody saying, hey, check out this 40,000. Check out this product I found in 5 seconds. It's 40,000 with this new product research technique. It all comes down to finding products with demand. Okay? How can you tell that? Look for products that have lower BSR, which means they're selling decent. Find a way to improve it. That's how you succeed on Amazon. Howman, highly recommend you guys to buy Tim's course. You'll never regret it, and this will be one of the best decisions you ever make. Worth 10x the course value. Go ahead and check it out, guys. Thanks, Howman. I appreciate guys like you in there who don't just take the course, all right? I only want people who are who to take the course who are game, who are like, I'm ready to do this thing, okay? Like, throw all fears aside. I'm cannonballing into the deep end. That's what kind of students we need, and that's the kind of students we have in the VIP group. That being said, you know how he said it's worth 10x the value? I'm not telling you when, but here in the near future, the price is going up, okay? I look at the prices of other courses and who's selling them and all this kind of thing, and the 30,000 plus hours. Last year, I sold over 250,000 items on Amazon. 250,000 individual items. Now, I'll tell you, there is no shortcut for experience. You can jump ahead, right, by taking a course and learning, but there really is no shortcut for experience. And I bring 250,000 items sold last year, that experience, and put that in my course and in the VIP group when I come out with new things and things I'm testing and trying, okay? So keep that in mind. Who is the last guru, we'll call it, that you saw on Amazon who has no partners? Okay, my first product landed in Amazon in April 2016, okay? That's my first product. I found out about Amazon FBA or private label in February 2016. April 2016 was my first product landed. From April 2016 to December 31st, 2016, I sold $820,000 on Amazon, okay? Then from January 2017 to December 31st, so all of 2017, the next 12 months, I sold 4.2 million, okay? Now, fast forward that now to January of 2018, and to all of 2018, over $8 million on Amazon, all private label products. And there's proof of that. You can look in the Facebook group where I posted my 1099K that Amazon issued me, okay? I did 90% of that, or not 90%. I went the first year and a half just by myself, and one person was a customer service person. No sourcing agents, no nothing. Me going on Alibaba, finding products, ordering samples, putting in orders, okay? If you can find anybody who is remotely doing something like that or has had that kind of growth in under 3 years, I still haven't been doing this for 3 years, who puts out a course for you to learn, who has students who have sold their businesses or are selling their businesses from over $400,000, over $5 million, let me know. But that is the type of information that is in that course, that kind of experience. And so because of that, the price is going to be going up in the near future. It's not one of these like, oh, price is going up, buy now. This is a real thing. I've only did one discount on the course, and that was over Black Friday, and I'm never doing that price again. That's why there's no evidence of how much that price was. Okay? George, how does the seller account get transferred is my real question. Sorry. Oh, okay, George, about selling the business. Sorry about that. That's real simple. The new buyer will just take over. They'll transfer the information. If they already have a selling account, they'll just transfer the product and then they'll take over the listing. Imagine a permanent hijacker and you just disappear. That's kind of how that works. But yeah, typically, if you want to sell your entire account, not just an aspect or a brand off of it, they will take over the whole account. It's really simple. And Empire Flippers, website closers, they have done it hundreds of times. So they'll walk you right through that. Abel, what's up? Another VIP course student. Since it's my first product launch, how much daily budget will you put on PPC and Facebook ads? Great question, Abel. So a lot of that depends on your own circumstances. If you have tons of money, hey, I say go for it. But I would say, safe to say, start with $30 to $50 on your PPC campaign, and just test it, okay? And see what's going on. Give it a couple days. See if your budget runs out crazy. See if you need to adjust those bids. And then when it comes to Facebook ads, again, I would start at like $30 a day for your Facebook ads for your launch, and then see what kind of traction you get. Again, it's a moving target. Every product's different, but initially start out with that $30 to $50 of PPC, and then try a $30 daily budget on your Facebook ad, and then just see how the audience reacts, see how the customers react, and then a pivot from there. And then if you got more questions, you know where I'm at. VIP group, Abel. David, can you talk on ungating and open categories? So I personally don't sell in any gated categories, but I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Everything that is hard or difficult, reframe it to thinking about how that is a barrier to entry. So selling in a gated category is kind of like that. If you get into a gated category, then there's just that extra barrier to entry that the next new guy is probably not going to go after. So I have no problem with it. Lee Powell, you're an inspiration, bro. Thank you, man. I remember when I was new. I remember I was brand new. I remember being in other groups, and the person who ran the group would go on live stream, and I had saved up my question for a week. And I didn't know who to ask because I could not figure out who was trustworthy. I'd ask here, and I'd get like 5 different answers. And then when the person who ran the group finally came, I would type my question out, and I'd wait for him to answer. And then he'd answer it, and I'd feel like, wow, finally I got good, credible answer to my question. And sometimes they would pass over my question. I'd be like, no, you missed it. And I'd be like, Control-C, Control-V, paste, send, paste. No, you missed our question. Please answer it. And they sign off. So you say I'm an inspiration. I really appreciate that. Every single one of you guys could be the next inspiration for someone else. Adam Leaf, what were your profits last year? That's a good question. I think I put up in the group. I might have to. I'll show you guys 1 month's profit, okay? I'm not all about like, hey, this, that, I like to show like gross numbers, things like that. But I will put in the group sometime this week. I'll show you guys what I did in December, okay? I think it averaged around 22% net margin, 23%, something like that. And I think it profited in just December like $326,000, something like that. Ermin, what do you think about a 35% margin before PPC expenses? I think that's great. One thing about margins, it's like, look up any business, okay? In your city, look for a local business broker, okay? And there's going to be all sorts of businesses. Go on Craigslist and look in the businesses for sale section. And then look at the profit margins and numbers for those businesses. Restaurants, hair salons, all those kinds of things. Chiropractor offices, who knows? What other types of businesses are there? Any type of business like that. And look at their profit margins, okay? And that's going to be for an entire year. Then look at the profit margins on an Amazon FBA product, and that's as many times as you can buy, sell, and flip it throughout the year. The compounding impact of that is an incredibly high amount. 35% margins before PPC is killer. I would do it all day, every day. Michael, his course is the Rolls Royce of private label. Thank you, Michael, another good student. Watch out. I wouldn't sell in Australia because Michael's over there. He's taking over, okay? And that comes from a person who has bought other people's courses. David, insights on focus and determination. Focus and determination. So that really comes down to, like, I was really thinking about this the other day, actually towards the beginning of the year. It's really important that we all make goals. It's been said that if you blindfold a person and tell them to walk in a straight line, they're just going to walk in circles. They can't tell. They did the same test. They put someone to swim, blindfolded. What do? They swim in circles. But then they have somebody and you give them a point in the far distant and just give them that and say, hey, head that way. They're going to walk straight, okay? And that's what goals do. So you have your different goals, and you want to have a SMART goal, ones that are, ones that are attainable, ones that are measurable, all these types of things, okay? Now you have your goals, okay? Don't make them crazy, make them actually achievable. Now you have your goals, and maybe they have to do with your personal life, maybe spiritual life, maybe financial and business life. We're talking about financial, okay? So you have those, and you realize hitting those goals throughout the year or the month really comes down to making smart, small choices throughout every single day. And big goals don't happen quickly. They take a while to come to fruition. So what I notice is, for myself, when you have these big goals, okay, or goals when it comes to any area of your life, it really comes down to being self-disciplined with your time management, all right? Time management and focus. So when you go to set out to do a task, focus on only that thing, cutting out distractions. There's very few YouTube channels that I watch and that I like the people on it, but one of the guys, Sam Ovens, okay? Sam Ovens is all about focus. So if you're interested in learning more about focus, go watch that. Who knows though, like if you're serious about focus and determination, next thing you know, you're not going to be in any Facebook groups. You're going to not watch any YouTube. You're going to have every app deleted off your phone. And you're going to say, I want to be successful at Amazon. And how do I do that? I need to find a product. I need to talk to suppliers. I need to order samples. Cut out everything else. I'm not going on Instagram. I'm not going on Snapchat. I'm not even Facebook messaging anybody. I'm not going to go on any Facebook group related to Amazon. Nothing. I'm going to have these 3 things, and that's all I'm going to do. So what does that equate to day to day? Well, I'm going to spend 2 hours on product research every single day, no matter what. Okay? And I'm not going to miss that. And it's going to be like a part of my schedule every single day. Bam, 2 hours, no matter what. No matter what. Okay, and if you can become that kind of self-disciplined within yourself with your time management, your focus, you will achieve a crazy amount of stuff, okay? Check out Sam Ovens. I think he has a video called Explaining My Weird Behavior or something like that. My Peculiar Behavior. Check that out. Ying Chen, what's up? Another VIP student in here. George, my friend Ricardo is in your course. He says good things about you and your course. Shout out to Ricardo. Thanks, Ricardo. Beatrice, will you give a notice before your course price goes up? Yeah, I'll probably just make a quick announcement. Be like, hey guys, you got 1 week, and then, it's going up. Jafar, I think you're another student too. I find a product which is listed in 3 different categories. All the 3 different categories are relevant to that product. In which category should I list mine? The ones with less seller, or it doesn't matter? Alright, so what I would do, Jafar, is I would look at the 3 categories. And I would look to see, like, other competitors, are they also in those 3 categories? Some are in one, some are another. So if it doesn't have any, because sometimes listing in the wrong category will impact you in the search results. So if there are other competitors who are listed in all those different categories, then you should be fine going with either one. Now it takes, which one do I want to go in? Click on each one. And what I want you to do is look at who is number one in that subcategory and look at their BSR, okay? If there's one that has a subcategory with a higher BSR, I would target that one because you have a much better chance of getting that bestseller badge, okay? Because if you get to the top of a subcategory, you'll get the bestseller badge. So look at the three. As long as they won't impact your relevancy and search for your main keywords, then go with the one that has the number one guy with the highest BSR, because in the future, hopefully, you'll be able to overtake him and get that bestseller badge. And once you get the bestseller badge, it will increase your conversions and also your traffic and your sessions and impressions. Fred, Tim, so realistic amount of cash required would be around 5,000. I would say 5,000 is safe to say, bro. Abel, thank you, Tim. You are the best. Much appreciated. Thank you, Abel. Christoph Rapala. Hi, Tim. What is better, selling on Shopify or Amazon? So I'm not going to downplay the benefits of other ways of making money online and with e-commerce. What I've noticed is Shopify requires less capital to get started. But the cons of what I've noticed with Shopify is most of those products don't have a very long lifespan. You'll notice a lot of Shopify sellers will, even the really successful ones, will have a good product, but it only lasts like 6 months. And they got to find another product. Also, the thing with Shopify is you got to get really good at Facebook ads, which is its own beast, okay? Amazon, you don't really have to be that good at Facebook ads. Amazon, you just have to get a good product, get it in front of the people, and get it to the front page. The people are already there. It's Amazon, right? So you just got to get the good product. In regards to like selling on Amazon, you also can, build a giant brand, and who knows, it can build off of Amazon. It can do all sorts of different things. So those are the kind of the pros and cons. I'm going to give a shout out real quick to this guy I just found on let me see this dude. I found this dude who is killing it on Shopify, and I can tell he's the real deal. I'm not saying you should go run out and be like, oh, Shopify's better, but if you want to see another killer, who I can tell this guy's a killer, check out this dude. His name is, if you type in case study, one product dropshipping, his name is Gabriel St. Germain. That dude's a beast, okay? I love seeing up-and-coming talent, whether it's in Facebook ads or Shopify or Amazon private label, things like that. So those are the differences. If you have zero money at all, maybe try Shopify or get out and hustle and make some money to start private label. Private label is what I do. That's what I find successful. That's what I enjoy, physical product business. And I think even if you talk to that guy in his channel and see him in his recent live stream, he'll say, private label is a great business, but you're just going to need a little more funds. Jafar, how old are you? How do I look, man? Do I look like I'm in my 50s? Maybe I am. Be honest, that was good. Robert, when Amazon loses your private label product, then ask for invoices when you request them, what do you send them? I don't want them knowing my factory information. So Robert, I wouldn't get too worried about that. A lot of people are worried about that. Like, if I send my invoices, they're going to find my factory, then they're going to start selling against me. That's kind of like, what I've noticed is that fear is kind of like people who are afraid to tell their supplier that they sell on Amazon, thinking that their supplier is now going to sell on Amazon themselves, which realistically doesn't happen very often. Very, very rarely do you ever see a supplier start to compete with you on Amazon. And those are completely different departments. Is the guys who are managing and seeing like how many products you have shipped in versus the guys who are like finding out like what product are we going to source. If your product isn't making millions and millions of dollars, I don't think you really have to worry about Amazon stealing your product idea. So yeah, I send them the regular invoices, which has all of that. I think I sell them the BOL. I think that's what I send them. whatever they ask, what I send them. Lee, I bought 2 other courses. Unfortunately, I wish I had come across yours first. You seem to be the most legit, most honest, most transparent guru. Yeah, there's other transparent guys out there, and there's a ton who aren't. But one thing is when I first got into Amazon, I didn't have nearly the information that all these other guys have. You can take the worst course and still have more information than when I first got into Amazon. So if you had 2 courses and they're both not the greatest, hopefully you can take a little bit from both and get an idea. But who knows? Mine also has a payment plan, so if you can't afford $1,000, I do take, I think it's $397 a month for 3 months. Alan says hi, how you doing? Let's see here. Thank you, Christopher, for the kind words. Let's see here. Ermin, another question, are you releasing products with only PPC? If so, out of all the products you are releasing, what percentage for you do only PPC launch? So I touched on this earlier. I basically, I always start every product with just PPC, and then I go from there. And if PPC is enough, then I'll just leave PPC. But if I'm running PPC for a week plus and I'm not really seeing much movement, then I'll take it to the next step. Michael says he wouldn't do private label with less than 10,000. Watch out for Michael. I'm telling you, Australia, he's coming. Trevor, all right, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and I'm out of here. It's about an hour. Hopefully I was able to help you guys out. Let's see here. So Trevor says, what's the fastest way to get to page 1? Having trouble getting sales and spending tons of money on PPC. Fastest way is usually going to be a discounted sales, a giveaway service. I'll blast you up there. It's usually the fastest way. Sometimes it's more expensive though. But if you're doing PPC and not having much action, you kind of go to the next route, which is either going to be Facebook ads, targeting your product, or some type of giveaway. Say you just bought the course today. Thank you. Hope to see you in the group. Remember, with the course, try it out for 7 days. Watch the initial videos. If it's not a good fit, if you're saying Tim's teaching style is terrible, you can get a refund. All right. Last question. Jafar, do you use ASIN targeting in your PPC? When we should use it? I do use ASIN targeting in my PPC. I'll give you one tip on that, and because I'm going to have more about this coming in the course. One tip is go in your automatic campaign, look through there, you'll see ASINs, and the ASINs that you're getting sales on at a decent ACOS, take those ASINs and move it into that ASIN targeting campaign, and then bid on there. That's my last tip. Anyways, guys, 51 people in here. I'm going to leave this live stream in the group. I hope you guys enjoyed this time. Remember, this is with this new mic, we can do that private label ASMR. Thank you for coming to the Private Label Masters live in the Facebook group. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure, if you want to learn from me, before the price goes up, check out the full Private Label Masters course, www.privatelabelmasters.com. Make sure to hit some thumbs up with this, some smiley faces, some crazy faces, anything you can. Hearts, those are all good too. Anything, show your love. Remember, you guys, I was once brand new also. And just take some hard work and determination. And each one of you guys can be the next inspiration for someone else. So, thank you guys. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later.